Increased participation for individuals with disabilities within the workforce provides them with a greater sense of independence, self-worth, dignity, respect, and a sense of belonging. For the business community, it's a great chance to gain a competitive edge over your competition, an innovative way to do business, solve problems, and promote diversity. Keith Burtney is the executive director of EmployU, a nonprofit employment agency dedicated to the advancement and equality of labor force participation for individuals with disabilities within Central Florida and its surrounding communities. He joined me this week to discuss the mission he and his staff are on to put the Sunshine State's special needs community to work. I'm Kevin McShane. Let's have this conversation. EmployU's mission is to empower the customers they serve with disabilities with the knowledge, connections, and confidence needed in order to embark on a sustainable career. And Burtney says that his agency has been able to cast a wide net of prosperity and results for some deserving individuals. Keith, if you're ready, we'll welcome you to the program, and we're excited to learn all about EmployU this afternoon. So great to see you, and thanks so much for being here.
Yeah, my pleasure, Kevin. Absolutely. Glad to be here.
So,
Yeah, certainly. So, yeah, like you said, we're a nonprofit employment service. We are partnered with an agency called Vocational Rehabilitation, which is a state department funded here in Florida under Department of Education. Some other areas, some other states, it's under Department of Labor. But they are there for really anybody that has a disability that makes it difficult for them to either get or keep a job, and they'd like assistance. So when they go to voc rehab, they generally are undergo some assessments to come up with a plan. And then once voc rehab gets that person to a point where they feel like they've got them as job ready as they can, then they send them to us for employment services, where it's our job to basically get them a job. So we have an adult program where we are helping them get employed at businesses in their community that are have jobs that they're interested in for a career, and we get them permanent employment. And then we have a youth program, which is all about career exploration. So with that one, those are all students in school with an IEP or 504 that are just interested in finding out what different careers are like. So we get them what's called on-the-job trainings, where our company pays their wages and insures them while they go and work at businesses. So we generally can do that between the ages of 14 to 21. So they just basically do experiences over and over again. And then we do a lot of classes with both adults and youth that help people become more familiar with what work is like and prepare them for the job world and interviewing and all kinds of good stuff like that.
Now, as you know from my background, I have experience doing this, and I always felt that the power of collaboration was one of the keys to success. So I'm wondering, you had mentioned the Florida Department of Vocational Rehabilitation Reform, and I know that you all also have several other community partners there in Central Florida. So can you just talk to me a little bit about the power of collaboration?
Yeah, absolutely. We have, especially with our youth program, The students are all really just looking for soft skills along with work experience. So we're able to collaborate with quite a few nonprofits here in Florida that really they need us help, and they have all kinds of jobs. So the Up Center, they're United Against Poverty. They're here in Orlando as well as out in the Treasure Coast, which is Port St. Lucie area, Fort Pierce. But they have two locations there where they have, like basically almost like a food bank, but it's more of that. It's more than that. It's more like a grocery store for low income folks. And then also they also have other things going on, like they have some kind of employment preparation type things that we come and speak at, and then our students go and will work at their grocery stores and such to help them out. And they're fully volunteer run, so having partnerships like that one is really great. But we have a ton of different nonprofits that we work with, along with for profits, for both our youth and adults. So we have a lot of different partners out there in the field, which is it's been really amazing.
And I know that you are unique in the sense that EmployU, you're sort of a one-stop shop where you uh, offer both employment services, employability skills training, and a workplace experience, while also uh, offering assessments as well. So I'm wondering if you can comment on the competitive advantage you think that your agency provides, and the ability to be nimble to address the needs of the people that you serve there in Central Florida.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, the process that for somebody that is looking for assistance with vocational rehabilitation can be a little daunting. Where they, as I said before, they once they go to vocational rehabilitation, they're going to be assigned to a vocational rehabilitation counselor, and that counselor is going to try to come up with a plan, and that plan is going to start off with recommendations based on assessments that are done. So there's sometimes a psychological evaluation, or maybe there's just a medical, physical evaluation, and then there's also a vocational evaluation. So we do the psychological evaluations as well as the vocational evaluations. And generally, those are going to take a good look at that person, that individual, to determine what's going to be a few different options for career paths that make sense. They have the background that they have, the skills, their experience, the things that that person really thrives at and has strong abilities for, as well as what's available in their area, and what they're interested in. So, that all gives the vocational rehabilitation counselor a idea of what kind of plan to put together, and then they put them through that plan, which could be included with maybe a mental or physical restoration, or it could be some type of device that they could benefit from that they'll supply, or maybe it's even some education, some certification classes, or a trade school, or even a 2-year degree. But anyway, so it can be a little bit daunting for a client to go from, one provider that does this and a provider that does that to get their assessments. And then, most people don't really know what the different companies are like, and what they do and how they work. So when they come to us for the assessments, we're able to let them know that, hey, you think you have a good experience here. Well, these are a lot of other things that we can help you with too. So we also do what's called work incentive planning for people. So if they have on Social Security, or they're on SSI, SSDI, they have benefits, and they want to see what happens to those if they were to work. We have an assessment program for that gives them a good idea of what happens with their benefits and what the safety nets are. And then, as I said, we have our youth program where we can start them right while they're in school. And then once they actually graduate from school, or they turn 21, they go into the adult program. So we can have continuity from them and really work with them for quite a while. Once vocational rehabilitation, once they close their case, which happens 90 days or 150 days, 150 plus days from when they actually have a job, when they're placed, some of them may have extended services available to them, either through Ticket to Work or through Agency for Persons with Disabilities, which is the Medicaid funded program here in Florida. But we also partner with those agencies too. So technically, we could stay with them for years and help them make sure that they have the confidence that they'll be able to keep their job, and if anything goes wrong, we'll be there for them. So that has been our goal. We feel like if we can make everybody's lives easier by providing all those services and also doing them all really well, and it'll give more confidence to people that we're not just one of many that are going to do what you do and then drop you off. We're going to stay with you.
And I know that we share the same passion of giving individuals with disabilities meaningful work. We'll provide them with self-esteem, self-confidence, and greater independence. So I'm just wondering if you can comment and give me some thoughts on that sentiment as well.
I think I've always thought employment is really the root of stability for your health, mentally and physically. Whenever, there's been times where I was unemployed, like when I first moved to Florida, I didn't have a job when I came down here. I just figured I'd figure it out when I get here. And so, it took me probably a couple months to land where I wanted to land. And I know in that time frame, my insecurities were higher. I felt like I had some more higher anxieties. I was more insecure. It's just, I think, employment just brings a sense of well-being, that contribution. It gives you a lot more options in life, when I've been poor several times in my life, and, you're limited when you don't have, funds coming in. I believe it's really the root of that. And, if you can help somebody, I could also say, like, if you don't know how to get a job, it also is very easy to become rather insecure. So, because most people don't practice interviewing, they don't do that so much. They don't maybe get a resume done by somebody professionally or really learn how to do a professional resume. And so when you're going out there and competing with thousands of people, it can be really frustrating. But what we do generally is we teach people to be really good at getting a job. We go, this is your full-time job now, is getting employed. So, like, you got to get really good at this. You have to practice. You don't just play a sport without practicing. You practice it. So we get customized answers to your interview questions, and we get them on cue cards, and you just practice and drill it and keep on going until you feel confident that you can answer any question that comes at you. The questions they ask at the interview aren't always going to be what's on your cue card, but you have some prepared answers for that. Generally will work for most questions that are like that. So our goal is to teach people how to sell themselves and teach them what type of value they're bringing to the table when they come up for that interview and they talk to the employer. So confidence is what it's all about. Insecurity is the common thread that most people have, and especially people that have disabilities. It's really difficult to not be insecure when you have disabilities. Just your whole life, people have been telling you to avoid the difficult things because your parents didn't want to see you fail. So that can build over time, and so everybody needs some preparation, and they need the skills to give them the confidence so that they can feel good about going into an interview.
And I assume that you and your staff take pride in providing them their own self-identity when it comes to working. Would you agree with that sentiment?
Yeah, when I first got into this, to be honest with you, I had no idea how to do it. I just knew helping people get a job is something that I figured. I've gotten jobs myself several times, so I knew it was all about teaching people how to sell themselves. But once I started doing it, and I started getting people jobs, and some of my first ones, their family kind of they give you a hug and they're crying, and like, we never thought it would happen. Now we kind of feel like there's a good chance he'll be independent one day. To be able to give people that skill and help people make that accomplishment getting that win is absolutely what keeps a fire going within all of us, that we want to just keep doing it over and over again. Once you get that feeling that you're really making a difference in these people's lives, you can't get up early enough to start work each day. And, it's like you just don't want to stop. So, it keeps in your mind, but it's a positive thing because it's wins. You're getting a lot of them, and those really give you an adrenaline boost. So, absolutely. One thing we definitely look for people that come to work with us is that they got to be passionate. And I'm pretty confident most all of our employees are.
Yeah, fantastic. I'm also curious to know your thoughts on how to build sustainable relationships with the business community you work there in Central Florida. And can you also tell me about your message to the business community down there that may be wanting to hire someone with a disability, but they don't know where to start?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are absolutely all about making business relationships. Our whole program depends on it. So we've done a couple things to try to push that along. One, we do go through in a few different industries, go through associations to get through to other businesses rather more easily, I could say, or get to a lot of different businesses all at once. So what we'll do is we'll go and we'll actually join the association quite often, and then we'll educate everybody about what we're doing, and then if we can get a few, even one or two companies to say yes, we'll get some experiences with them, and we basically have to follow through in what we say we're going to do, because when we talk to a business, one, you have to find the right one. Not all of them are. You're really finding the right people. So, it's all about numbers. You got to go through so many to find somebody that says, this sounds pretty awesome, I want to do it. But once you do, then we have a positive experience. Then a lot of times what we'll do is we'll actually do a video about it. We'll do a little documentary. We have different industries that we focus on, and we have a video for each one. And then from there, that video absolutely helps the other businesses in that industry see what that person was doing. They get testimonials from the people that work there, the business owner saying this was a good thing. And then it kind of spreads out that way. So we found a good formula with that. But for the most part, the important thing is, we tell them that there's a team of people behind this person to make this work. And then we have to follow through and do a really good job at it. You do that, then the word of mouth is going to spread around, and you have testimonials to build more relationships. So it's absolutely important for that we just do a really great job, and that we prepare that person, and that we've matched that person into a job that's a good fit for them. You can't force somebody into a position that's not right for them. You got to look at all the factors that are involved. So yeah, we're always looking for businesses though. We have 44 counties in the state that we cover. We go up to the Panhandle, all the way down into Tampa, and go down to West Palm, and everything in between. So, businesses that can, obviously check our website. We're at www.employu.org, EmploYU.org. We have a video library on there that people can go and see, and actually see our individuals working, and hear businesses say how awesome it is. So yeah, that's probably the best way that they can take a look at it and contact us from there.
Yeah, fantastic. And my final question for you is, what's your greatest hope for the future of disability employment within the Central Florida region? And what's the greatest part for you to be the executive director of such a great place like EmployU?
Our hope is that the fear of working with people with disabilities goes away. A lot of people have it, and I think it's really just that they don't have experience, because it's just, if you don't know, well, I guess that's it, right? The fear of the unknown, where, there's a stigma that goes behind disabilities, where they're like, automatically start thinking, oh, I'm going to have to change my workplace. Is there somebody in a wheelchair? What if I get, we're not equipped for this, or, all those things go through their mind right away. And they're like, oh, we got dangerous situations around here. So, you can't really change somebody's mind usually. I don't try to convince anybody. I just try to educate them and see if they're interested. But I think when people see others and they see it happen, and they talk to somebody that's working with people with individuals, that opens, that sets their mind more at ease. So it's really a volume thing. The more that we get people in the jobs into the right businesses, I think more businesses kind of become the right businesses, if that makes any sense. I think they have to basically see somebody's experience go well and realize, oh, okay, it's not what I was thinking. And then, then they're more willing to try it out. So we're all about kind of volume, and the thing, to answer your second question, is that, the thing I love about EmployU is that, we have about 130 staff members, and they do all have passion. Absolutely. I feel it when I talk to them, when I hear the stories, when we get together. They're all just passionate about what they do. And that passion is then, it's felt by all of our partners and vocational rehabilitation, the businesses that we work with. And that really just drives the successes, which then in itself snowballs, because the more successes, the more people want to help, want our help. And then the more businesses that want to work with us. So it's something that has grown quite a bit. Like I said, we're in 44 counties. We started 8 years ago. So we last year, especially, our growth was really exponential. It just kept on snowballing. We grew into a lot of areas. This year, not so much, but that's okay. We've sustained. We haven't laid anybody off. We haven't closed any offices. The referrals keep coming in, and we're getting still a lot of great successes. So, that passion, I think and obviously it's instilled in me as well. I think that is something that I think is the most fulfilling, and something I wish that everybody had, to be honest with you. It's great.
For sure, Keith. I always tell people that inclusion is the gateway to independence. And anytime I'm asked about inclusion in employment, that's the motto I always go back to. I want to thank you for joining me today and telling me all about EmployU. You're doing outstanding work down there in Central Florida, which I also fancy as my second home. So thanks for letting me back down to Central Florida in the midst of a pandemic. Always great to see you, and thanks for being here today.
Yeah, thanks, Kevin. My pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
Fantastic, Keith. We're done.